Hey everybody, welcome back to my physical world and the network tutorial in ArcGIS Pro. So this is the third and final. We're not going to be doing too much intricate stuff, okay? Just the basics, okay? There's a lot more resources available at ESRI. Again, I say ESRI, so that kind of gives you my age. All right. But anyway, there's really good resources at ESRI, free tutorials, their YouTube channel, that kind of stuff that you can get more information on this stuff. And I totally recommend you guys do that. Many years ago, I was an authorized instructor for ESRI. I wasn't an employee of them. I was just, I'm not really sure. Many users might need to tell me. I've been out of that instructional realm for quite a while. But does ESRI still have authorized ESRI instructors? Anyway, I was one for many years. And it's and if they still have it, and you are a GIS guru, and you want to hold classes on teaching people how to use this software, then by all means. But at the same time, go right to the source and get the videos from the instructors at ESRI, because every one of them they know their stuff. Okay, they really do. Way to go, ESRI. You guys are awesome. All right. Anyway, I digress. I'm rambling. I'm a rambling old man, nearing retirement, by the way, in my GIS realm. So we are talking about network analysis, and we're just going to do some fun little stuff. Okay, and we're going to just explore the network analyst that you can get with ArcGIS Pro. All right, so we've done all our building. We've made our street center line. We actually didn't create it, but I showed you the good things to do, the what to do in creating the center line, good practices. We also set up our project to be able to have a network data set. Okay, so we can do the network analysis. If you guys haven't subscribed, please do hit the notification bell. And if you feel inclined to support what I do, please buymeacoffee.com/myphysicalworld. Okay, I don't charge for this stuff, but every little gifts here and there really kind of help me out. Okay, I don't make money. I don't make money on YouTube. I mean, I do make money, but it's like a couple bucks a year. Oh, I'm rambling. I'm sorry. Let's get to work. So we have our network data set created. So this project is ready to do network analysis. See the previous two videos. All right. So we have our project, and here is our street center line. I'm not making it all pretty and stuff, but we can. I don't need this road center line anymore, because all we need is the feature class now. And we can symbolize this map to make it a little better if we want, I suppose. I don't know. Do we? Let's do this. No, that's ugly. Let's do something else. I don't know. I mean, if I wanted to, I could actually make it appear a little better. I don't want to make this look pretty. Oh, let's just do this. Oops, that's not what I want. Let's vary symbology by attribute. Let's do that. let's come over here and let's do not in single, let's do unique value. There we go. Let's do unique value. And our unique value, let's choose road type. How many road types do I have? 7, 8, 7. Okay. So let's see. We got collectors. We got primary, main. Let's play with our colors a little bit. Let's make collectors this. And make mains. Let's make those black. That's too big. Those aren't mains. Those aren't mains. Collectors, yeah. Main streets, whatever. I'm not cartographically making this pretty, okay? But anyway, you get the picture. Okay? Just so the streets don't all look the same. Alright? I don't have time. Anyway, you can symbolize your map anyway. You guys know that by now, or you wouldn't be looking at network analysis. Let's go back. Let's just go back to single symbol, and let's change this. Let's change everything to some kind of black line. There we go. Let's do this. There we go. Something simple. All right. I'm just messing around. Sorry, I'm wasting your time. Now, let's do some network analysis. So if you come up here to the network analysis tools and you click on that, you get all the different types of network analysis that you can do. All right, so we're going to do a simple route. Okay, so I'm going to click route, and it's automatically going to put a route solver setup over here in the table of contents where you have stops, where you're going to add your stops, right? So let's zoom into this. Let's zoom into Norwalk, Ohio, and let's add some stops. Okay, so we have stops. You can go up to edit, and you can go to create, and it sets up all your different feature classes that you can edit. All right, and so we're going to go to stops, and we're going to have the point tool. All right, now what's useful, do I have snapping on? I do have snapping on, so that's good. All right, so I can snap on the line. So what the route is going to do is you're going to put a series of stops on your map. Okay, and when you run the analysis, it's going to optimize the route to go to each stop the best way. Does that make sense? Let's say you're a delivery. Let's say you work for UPS or something like that. Okay, and you're delivering mail, or it doesn't matter, handing out flyers, whatever it is. And you have a series of stops, and you want to hit every one, and you want to find what's the best route. Okay, so we're gonna, like I said, we're just adding this feature. So I'm gonna add a stop there. I'm gonna put a stop up here, and let's say we got a delivery here, we have a delivery down here. Let's say we have one at the end of this cul-de-sac up here, and maybe one down here on this street down here. All right, so these are all of our stops that we need to go, right? So I'm going to save those edits by hitting the save. And then I'm going to come over here to the route layer. Oh, you guys can't see it. There we go. I'm going to come over here to route layer. I'm going to select that, and here's all your parameters for your route solver. Okay, We're not doing any time data or anything like that, so that's not a big deal. Okay, I'm not here to talk about modes, but you can actually customize different types of modes, different types of actions. You can set up in the network data set properties. You can say, I want a walk mode, I want a drive mode, I want a rain mode, I want a different kinds of modes. Okay, is it raining? That kind of stuff. You set those up as a property of the network data set. This video series is not going to get that detailed. This is just getting you started, get those juices flowing in that brain so you can let that imagination take off, because the only limitation of GIS is your imagination. All right. So we're not going to talk about modes, but we're going to, what kind of sequencing? Now, by default, use current is how I actually place those. They have to be in that order. Okay. But you can choose best fit. Okay. Find the best. All right, so let's do one right now. Let's create a route that has to follow the order in which I actually clicked those, added in those stops. That's use current. Okay, all you're going to do is hit run. Okay. So it puts the number of the stop. So this is stop 1. We're going to go from here. We're going to come all the way down the street. We're going to come up here, go to stop 2. Then we're going to come down here, go all the way over here to 3. And then we're going to come all the way down here to 4. And then we're going to come right back up and go to 5. And then we're going to come all the way back to 6. But that's because I chose it. I chose my option to be use the current. Use how I added in those spots. Okay? But obviously, in the real world, you wouldn't do that. You want the software to choose the best way to do it. Okay? So I am going to call this Route 1. No, I'm not. I'm going to change this to Find Best. And I'm going to hit run. And a few little things have changed. Notice the numbers of my stops have changed, because this one right here used to be stop number 1, but it's now stop number 2. Stop number 1 is now down here where stop number 6 used to be. Okay, so we're going to start here, come up here, we're going to drop it off here, come back, go down the street. We're going to kind of come up here to 3. Then we're going to drop way down here and do 4, and then 5, and then 6. The software actually calculated the best route. Okay. Now, let's find out something. Let's put a restriction. Let's say that this street right here has some construction going on. So I'm going to choose restriction. I'm going to go to edit, going to create. I'm going to choose restriction, and we are going to put a restriction right on that street. Let's say that there's some construction going on or something. Okay, I'm going to save those edits, hit yes. Then I'm simply going to go back to my route layer, and I'm going to simply, I still want it to find the best, but I'm going to rerun that analysis. Notice that you can no longer go down that street, okay? Because I put a restriction, do not go on this street. And so it routed that delivery around that particular street, okay? This is extremely useful for natural hazards. That was my main thing in GIS, was supporting emergency response and first responders. Okay, and wrote an application for network analysis that when they get there, they'll like, let's pretend it was a chemical spill. and we put the spot for the incident, and I'll show you that pretty quick. I'll show that here as well. But say there was, let's say there was a chemical spill, and you wanted to close off certain streets by putting barriers up. This is an example of doing that. That allows traffic to be routed around a chemical spill or something like that. So you use your imagination. So this is an example of a route. All right, so you saw two ways for it to calculate the route, using the way that I entered in each stop, or allow the software to calculate the best route. Okay, and then I put it in a restriction and it got us around it. All right, and you saw how fast that was. Okay, now let's do a different analysis. So I'm going to minimize route, and we are going to go back to our map. No, I'm sorry, we're going to go back to analysis. We're going to come up here to network analysis. Let's go ahead and turn off our route. All right, because now it just treats it like a layer. All right, let's come up to network analysis, and let's do a service area. All right, so we're going to go to service area, and it's going to do the same thing the route solver did. It's going to create a service area solver. Okay, and let's zoom out in the county so we get the entire county. All right, I'm going to zoom that in there. There we go. I won't worry about getting every single thing. Now, service area. The service area would be maybe like recycling drop-off points. Let's say they could be blood mobiles. You got different blood donation centers in your county, and they're all happening at the same time, and you want to figure out which facility would be in your area the best, right? Okay, so you're creating a service area for a particular facility. Make up whatever facility it is, right? Okay, so let's create some facilities. So same way, except now we're using service area. We're going to come up to edit, and we're going to create. So we get our list of all the different things over here at the right. I'm going to choose facility, and by default it goes right to add point. All right, so let's do recycling centers. All right, so let's say we have a recycling center down here, and if this was geocoded, okay, if this map was geocoded and you typed in an address, it would put the point where that address is. Okay, you can do it that way. All right, but for this video, I'm just showing you the easy way to do things just by point and click. So we added a recycling center down here in Willard, Ohio. They might have one outside of New London. They might have one maybe outside of Wakeman. And let's say they have one in town. Let's say it's right there in Norwalk. Maybe another one outside of Monroeville, maybe one over here in Bellevue. Okay, let's put one down in Greenwich. Okay, so these are recycling centers. Let's say they're recycling centers because we all love our environment, right? And let's save our facilities. So now the location of our facilities has been created. All right, now we're simply going to come over here to service area layer, and we want to run some analysis that creates zones for each one of these facilities. All right, now the cutoffs, okay, and this is distance away from each facility. It's going to calculate the distances away from each facility, and we want our facilities, this is 1 mile, 2 mile, and 3 mile. 4 mile? What is that? What is 26,400? Excuse me while I do math. What is that? What is that? Is that 5? 26,400 divided by 5280. Yeah, that's 5 miles. So we have cutoffs are 1 mile, 2 miles, and 5 miles. All right. Yeah, you can change these by just typing something in. All right. But we're just going to use the defaults, and we're going to hit run. Okay. So if you look down here, these streets, these areas get, now right now the only ones that are showing, I believe, is the 2 mile. Yeah, the one on the top, this is the 2 mile. So these are 2 mile, anything inside of here is within 2 miles from that facility. Okay, but we can come back up here and let's go 52,800 and rerun our analysis. Okay, doesn't really help. It's a little bit too much. Let's go 35,000. Rerun our analysis. Okay, so here you're within, if you're inside one of these areas, you're within 35,000 feet of that facility. Okay, so you can play around with all the different numbers, the different cutoffs, and all that kind of stuff, and you can create a map of your area that says, for these particular facilities, this is the closest facility to your location, right? Okay. There's another analysis that actually works a little better than that. It doesn't create polygons like this one, all right, but it does based on driving distance, all right, and that's what we're going to do. So so we just did a service area polygon map, so let's minimize that and turn our service areas off, and let's come back to analysis and go back to network analysis, and let's do closest facility. Okay, so we're going to do closest facility, and again it's going to create a closest facility solver. Okay, this one I really like. This is one of my favorite ones. Okay, so the closest facility could be two different ways. It could be which facility is closer to you and how to get there, and the other is which facility is closer to the incident that they can get to you. Okay, so we're going to do 2 examples. First, let's say our facilities are hospitals. So let's select facilities, go up to edit, let's do create. There's our facilities, and let's add facilities. So let's kind of zoom into Norwalk, and let's put, I got to remember where it is. The hospital sits right here in this area right here. So there's a hospital in Norwalk. I can't remember where the hospital is in Bellevue, so we'll just put it right here. Okay, and then there's a hospital down here in Willard, Ohio. It's about right there. It's not, I'm putting it on the line where their address would be based, not where the actual building is, because then it wouldn't be actually on the network. Okay, does that make sense? You put the dot where the address is based on. All right, so in our county we have 5 hospitals. All right, but we also have some satellites. We have a satellite health thing. I got to figure out, here's where the railroad tracks is. It's over here. It's on this block right here. There's a satellite office for this hospital down here. I don't think there's one in Greenwich, so I won't put one there, but I think that's it. They might have one up in Wakeman, but they may not have one. I can't remember. I don't live in that area, but I don't. Hopefully, Wakeman's not my closest one. Okay. All right. So we have our hospitals or urgent care centers. Okay. Now we need to map an incident. Okay. So let's save our facilities. And let's add an incident. Okay. Now I am going to put the incident right here. So we're going to go back to create. Oh, actually we don't need to because it's right here. Here's our incident. Let's say I cut my hand. All right, which I did a long time ago, and I had to figure out which hospital was the closest to get stitched up. All right, and let's say the incident happened right here. So I click that right there. All right, so that's where the incident happened. Okay, now most likely in distance, we're closer to Willard, right? So we're going to save that incident. Then we're going to come up here to closest facility layer, and we're going to run our analysis. Okay, so here's where I said 2 types. Toward the facility, which one is closer to me? Which one can I get to faster? And that's the first analysis that we're going to do. So direction is toward the facility. Okay. And then I'm just simply going to run this one. Okay, so Willard is the closest hospital. All right. So if I cut my hand here, I'm going to drive these streets to get to the Willard Hospital to get my hand sewn up. And to be honest with you, that's real world. I really did cut my hand in that location, and I had to get to the hospital to get my hand repaired. All right. So that's the route, and really that is the route that we took. I remember that day like it was yesterday. Okay, so let's come up here and say we want 2 facilities. So I'm going to run that analysis again, and it should take me to Norwalk. Okay, so now you can have and this is more advanced network analysis where you create all those different scenarios. Okay, it's better to do that. Set up your model. Think of all the different types of scenarios: rain, speed limits, traffic, all that kind of stuff, and it takes that into account when you really build that network up in an awesome fashion, right? Okay. So I put an incident there, and these 2 hospitals are the closest in terms of time to get there or distance to get there. Okay. You would think that New London is actually closer, but it's not, because this is a nice straight line right up there. Okay. But that I added 2 facilities. Now, if I add a 3rd facility and reran it, now we'll get New London. Should run right over there. Okay. But for 1 facility, which is the fastest, it's Willard. Bam, right there. Okay. Now, if I'm right here, let's oh, we want to do the other way around. That's right. Okay, so here's the incident. And let's say, well, you're almost going to get the same thing. Okay, let's say these are places where there's ambulance service, or even fire service, fire stations. Okay, but you can also do the analysis that goes away from the facility. All right, and then rerun the analysis. It's going to look exactly the same. Okay, but which EMS is going to get to me first? Okay, in this particular case, it makes sense that it is it is the same hospital, okay? But your modeling is, your two forms of modeling is going to the facility or the facility coming to you. So it's kind of an emergency response type of thing, okay? Could be grocery stores if it wasn't emergency and but you wanted to know which grocery store was closest to you, you can use that. All right, like I said, only limitation is your imagination. Don't know if I want to show you anything else right now. Let's turn off closest facility and let's go to analysis. Go to network analysis and see, because some of these analysis, vehicle routing problem, allocation, location allocation, these are based on more information being in your street center line or your network data set. Okay, but I'll go ahead and explain them to you. All right, let's say you had, in your street network, you had populations along that street segment, okay? And you had, I don't think I want to use this as an example, but we're going to use it for an example anyway. Let's pretend that you had populations and you had those broken down by age, and you had one 18 years or older, and throughout the county you had voting precincts, okay? You can use the location allocation network analysis by reading the population data in your street center line, and it will create a district, a voting precinct district map like that, okay? I like to use something that's a little bit more friendly. Instead of politics, we're going to talk about education, all right? And I've used this many times, not here in Ohio, but back when I lived in Kansas doing GIS, big city, Wichita, Kansas. They were building new elementary schools, and they closed down some of the old ones, and they're having new ones. Well, we needed to calculate new districts that belong to each elementary school. So we basically had to do the elementary district map, redo it, okay? We had all the population data broken down by age. So you know the age of the kids that are in elementary school, middle school, junior high, high school, all that kind of stuff. And all we did was we placed all the different places, the facilities, the schools, and then we had the network analysis choose which school, which streets, which populated streets are best serving that elementary. Which school would those kids go to? Okay, that's a good example of what location and allocation does. Okay, does that make sense? We won't do that because I don't have that kind of data inside of here. I mean, you can add stuff just like we did with incidents and stops. You can say, okay, a kid lives here, a kid lives here, a kid lives here, you know, that kind of stuff, and have it allocate the street network to do that, okay? But that's point and click. But with network analysis, you can automate that based on the data that's in your attribute file, okay? So let's come back up here. We'll minimize this. We're not going to do it, but let's look at another one. Origin, destination, but you have a cost matrix. That's delivery, supply chain kind of stuff that you can do. And then optimize delivery schedules. And this could be, okay, it's kind of like that first routing one that we did, except it also reads data inside of your database that takes into consideration time of day, season, all that kind of stuff, and it will be a better routing model than just doing a simple point and click. Does that make sense? Okay. So anyway, this 3-part series, I hope you found it useful in your GIS career, whether you're growing, whether you're new, whether you're old in the profession. I'm at the end of the GIS profession. I retire from doing GIS this summer. It doesn't mean I'm going to stop doing what I do here at My Physical World. It's just I won't be doing daily analysis and stuff. But if you've been doing this for a while, GIS for a while, but you haven't done network analysis, get into it, learn how to play it. It makes your portfolio look a lot better. The more diverse types of analysis that you can do, the better. Second is if you're new to this profession and you're trying to figure out what I'm going to be doing with my GIS profession, if you get into network analysis, this is a moneymaker. Okay? Logistics. Matter of fact, ESRI used to have ArcGIS that was built around the kind of like for the trucking industry. Okay? But that's moving money is basically what that is. Goods and services. Moving goods and services is moving money. And they're going to need to find the people that can understand this type of logic. That's why they call it logistics. Okay? But network analysis or network analyst, that's exactly what this application of GIS is for. So get to know network analyst using ArcGIS Pro. There's no other GIS software that is better than ESRI's. Okay, I'll tell you that. Yes, there's QGIS, and QGIS is fantastic. It's open source. It's also free. But it cannot stand up to ArcGIS Pro. It cannot. This is the ultimate GIS. It really is. I wouldn't have been using it for, well, not ArcGIS Pro for 40 years, but ESRI for 40 years. You can't beat it. So get to know. If you're new in the profession, get to know Network Analyst as a tool that you can put in your belt. If you're seasoned and looking to diversify your GIS, learn Network Analyst so your portfolio becomes thicker and more impressive. I hope you found this 3-video series useful to you. Please subscribe, hit that notification bell, and if you feel inclined to support what I do at My Physical World, buymeacoffee.com/myphysicalworld. And I will see you guys on the next video. See you later.